Folks, welcome to twitch.tv/speedgaming2, Speed Gaming Live's home for the Timespinner Randomizer tournament. My name is Jim the Eternal. With me in the booth is Llama, and we have two fantastic racers for you today. We've got Ezra3 on the left side, we got Ehseezed on the right side, and I can't wait for this to get started. Llama, how you feeling about things?
Pretty good. We're waiting for Ezra to get his timer up, hopefully. But thankfully, we do have a race time GG room that will keep track of their times.
Yeah, just a little bit of technical stuff to get out of the way, and then we'll be right into dropping the gate and getting this race started. Pretty excited about this. Ezra, a person who's been in the community for a bit now, been mostly focusing on task stuff or glitch hunting. So it's really cool to see him in the tournament and see how that expertise plays out. Ehseezed has experienced in last year's tournament and did a pretty solid performance, but he's looking a lot better this year. Coming in at the number 3 seed based off the qualifiers, which is very, very strong. So I'm excited to see how that plays out here.
Yes, I'm very excited. Hopefully. I don't want to curse anything, but we all know what we're thinking about. And hopefully does not happen again. Twice in a row, 3 times in a row.
Well, if it's a cursed seed, it's a cursed seed. And I trust both of these runners to give their all in fighting for the win. So, maybe they have to struggle a bit, and I think they're both up to the task. I think it'll go fine.
All right, Ezra needs to place the timer on their stream. We need to update the setup rules so that it actually specifically says to have a timer somewhere.
That's all right. This is an easy fix. I don't think it's going to take too much longer to get that in place. Yeah, it's not going to take too much
longer to go. I'm very excited. We have quite a few races coming up, including the briefly delayed due to inability to pivot moving couches for Winfei. Had a brief IRL technical difficulties, but in a little bit after this race, we should have another race if we get a restream, hopefully. And then tomorrow we have yet another race with Lunar Ray Games and Wef Jebster. And then Monday we have Krindle versus Ragnoth. I'm very excited about this series of heavy hitter races coming up.
Absolutely. Winfei Maiden already putting on a good performance this year and definitely comes with a storied history. Krimdal also just an incredible runner with wild performances in previous years. So really excited to see his races too.
We will see how that goes.
So I guess while we're waiting, we can discuss some of the flags that are new to the tournament for this year. People who are familiar with the flag set from last year are going to mostly find this pretty much the same. There are 3 specific flags that are changed. 2 new ones and 1 swapping over. Well, 2 swapping over, I guess, from previous years, right? We have Quickseed, which is turned on this year and was not turned on in previous years. So we're going to be starting with a Teleria attachment. Everybody's just going to have the zoomies, their dash ability, right at the beginning. And then the other thing that we have swapped is the I Spy flag, which means that breakable walls aren't going to be breakable until one finds the Oculus Ring, which is the item in game that normally lets you see where those breakable walls are. So these are flags that have been in the tournament or in the Timespinner Randomizer previously, but we've swapped their settings. So Teleria is newly on and I Spy is newly on for this year, which makes for some very different routing. Very different. I'm really excited to see what these runners do to kind of account for that. I Spy, I think, is a seed that not a lot of people have practice with. So it's, I know for my own routing, I've been, kind of trying to pay attention to when I get the Oculus Ring and what breakable walls I have to pass up on my way through the seed and trying to route those in after the fact. It really brings up the count of the extra checks that you got to backtrack for, which is, something that has definitely made a difference in previous seeds.
I will talk about the next flag in just a second. I'm just going to give the runners their heads up. And because we have our setup apparently approved by Sigma, so I'm going to jump out of that race. Yep, there we go. Perfect.
Perfect. All right. Well, sounds like we've got it all figured out here.
I was going to mention that we have both Prism Break and Unchained Keys, which kind of opens up where your endgame is. Used to be, it was pretty straightforward. You had to beat the 3 bosses, you had to go to the lab and get to the end. And we also have Ender Sandman. So now with Prism Break, you don't have to beat the bosses to undo those lasers. It's actually an item somewhere. And the other thing is that with the Unchained Keys and Ender Sandman, you could just find a warp to the end, not have to go to lab at all. Lab is not always money now.
It's true. I remember last year, Unchained Keys and Enter Sandman combined meant that a lot of seeds left the lab just completely inaccessible. Or, by logic anyway. There was no reason to ever go there. Although it was pretty easy to get there if you wanted to, right? You could always go out of logic with the gas mask and kill off the maw and make it through anyway.
Yeah.
But with the Prism Break flag, if it's inaccessible by logic, it's actually inaccessible.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Radiant Plus.
Radiant Plus, my beloved. Radiant, actually my favorite orb.
I love Radiant.
Yeah, I think my opinion here is probably not particularly spicy, but Radiant definitely a fave.
They got 2 pluses here. They got a plus spell of the Colossal Blade, which is a favorite of a lot of people. It's used a lot in the speedrun because it's the first spell that you are given beyond your starting set, and it kind of covers a whole bunch of area on the screen.
Yeah, I think even casual players got a lot of mileage out of Colossal Blade, as you said, one of the first spells you pick up. So something that people will have a lot of practice using, even if they might prefer other spells later on.
Yeah, compared to like the Colossal Hammer, which hits a little harder, but has a smaller hitbox, so it's a little hard to use.
And Double Jump immediately showing up. Very cool. Ehseezed taking a look at the map. Ezra immediately ducking to the right, and Ehseezed following in his footsteps. This is cool. A lot of runners have been tending to go left first and grabbing the warp to the left side of the broken bridge. But both of our runners have just decided to head straight towards the castle. I'm really interested to see how this plays out.
I think with that double jump, it's an okay play because there's not that much you're going to have to abandon on this way. And the tablet.
Tablet, not something that's going to affect routing for the near future. But once they have present access, the tablet will be really useful in the library. The library is going to be very, very dense with checks.
We got a super flooded moat, so we have to come back here if we ever get that water mask.
So just cruising on by that the drawbridge room, which is not something you usually see.
Yep, we can't actually get the bombardiers in there. We got Zed doubling back, going maybe over to Lake Serene to see what's over there.
Interesting. Going back to check out Lake Serene. I think this is a result of him checking the map earlier on. I was focused on Ezra's screen when he was doing it, but I'm not sure what he picked out. Like, I'm not sure, maybe he saw that Lake Serene was drained, which would be potentially a good reason to head in this direction. But I guess we'll see as it comes up.
We will see. Not bad pickups so far. Silence Ring, I would say a bit of an unsung hero. Especially when you're racing and don't have that many levels or equipments. It reduces the damage you take on a hit and then has to recharge. I really like it.
Yeah, a lot of people definitely prefer offensive equipment, but an early defensive option, not a bad choice.
I like defense because I am a squishy baby.
I mean, at our heart, aren't we all squishy babies?
Deep down inside, there's a squishy baby.
Ravenlord at Cantoran, oh no. God.
At least they have double jump.
It's true, at least they have double jump. There was a spell up there. I think it might have been Inferno Flames. I'm really bad at identifying spells.
I did not notice.
A spell up on the ledge. Ehseezed kind of cruised past it. Could have picked it up with a double jump. Decided not to. And Ezra now heading
Ezra
left.
doing it. Yep.
Do we know if the basement loop is flooded?
Unsure, but they went to a warp point and then doubled back, so it's no real progress lost.
Right.
Especially if they saw that they have double jump or that Lake Serene was drained because they can just go all the way to another warp point and then double back.
Yep. And The timing of this is a little, I'm going to say non-standard based on what we see from a lot of other runners. But as you say, no progress is lost, right? Going from warp point to warp point. So it's the same kind of travel that you'd have to do either way. And with Teleria, it's not like it's going to get faster or slower at any point. Oh my god, Ehseezed going straight for the Maw Caves. I love this.
Oof. Interesting.
Yeah, this is really different. So Ezra found his warp point and then doubled back went back into the castle for the basement loop, which is this is common. This is I'm gonna say normal. This is what a lot of people do. So Ehseezed doing something very non-standard, making potentially a gamble, cruising into a space that's maybe a little bit harder to navigate.
Oh, don't die to an egg.
But also
don't die to an egg.
Fence. Oh my god.
Almost died to an omelet.
That would have been really ignominious.
3 egg omelets are dangerous to you.
A surprising amount of danger given their current health and status. Empire Crown, very nice pickup.
Empire Crown and Royal Ring.
Nice.
It's good before heading further up into the castle because that is a required item. We got Laser Access Eye.
One of the 3 items necessary in order to get through the military hangar, in order to get through that laser gate.
Unfortunately, did have to abandon 1 check in that basement loop because of I Spy. But we're just gonna not worry about that for now. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't talk about it.
Ehseezed doing the usual save and quit here in the Maw Caves. Went down to check the 1 item that's accessible. Decided it was not worth keeping. I think it was a sand vial. So wholeheartedly agree.
Pendulum's great for it when you have to go into those caves. It's, again, another one of those unsung heroes for low levels. Poison's no joke in this game.
I love how impactful Poison is. Like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a big deal when you see it ticking 3 or 4 health at a time. But
it does not go away.
Yeah, Poison... Whoa, Timespinner Wheel. Okay, pin in that.
Okay.
Poison will take away 25% of your health per application. So Poison is actually a big hitter and something that matters if you're just letting it tick away. So Timespinner Wheel, llama.
Yes, I do want to say though that people can blame me for poison being a problem because I distinctly remember telling Bodhi when he was making this game, like, if you're gonna have poison, make it an actual menace, because no one ever pays attention to poison when they get it. They just ignore it until it stops, and so it's my fault. I'm sorry.
You've done us all a service. Forcing people to pay attention to their health is not a problem.
We got that wheel over on Zed's side, as well as a key card, along with the tablet. I think that's key card V?
It is key card V, in fact.
Yes.
So the Timespinner Wheel, definitely the most important of the 5 Timespinner pieces. You're going to need 5 Timespinner pieces in order to get through the pyramid into the last boss location, and be able to fight the 2 bosses there in order to trigger your endgame. The Timespinner Wheel also comes with a ability. The Timespinner Wheel is what lets you stop time in this game. And stopping time is a very neat feature. It helps you navigate some rooms. It lets you jump on top of enemies to assist in kind of your movement abilities. Although with double jump, I think it's going to be less important.
Less important, but, you know, you could attempt struggle juggle up in the castle.
Absolutely,
also,
yeah, that puts it in logic.
I didn't notice this, but Zed got one of the warp points. It's the present access.
And it looks like it's the Lake Desolation warp, which is, yeah, there's that time stop in action. Perfect use of time stop by Zed. So Lake Desolation warp is going to put them on the left side of the present, much like the original starting location. If you started in the present, you start on the left side. Same deal. So they'll have a lot of present to go through. I think the most important place in the present right now is going to be the library. Given that early tablet access, the library is going to be very dense. So wouldn't be a bad idea to go into the present and go get those pieces. I think that'll be helpful.
Unfortunately, Ezra coming here without time stop means that even if he wanted to, he could not try and get struggle juggle.
Yeah, so for Ezra, there is a check up there that he's just going to have to abandon.
It's not.
Likewise,
let's just hope that there's nothing there. Let's just hope that there's nothing.
Yeah. I'm sure it's got nothing. And likewise, a check in Mom's attic, the room above Ilana, that is not going to be available because Ezra doesn't have infinite vertical at the moment. So a couple of checks that are kind of annoying to come back for deep into Ilana's towers.
Yeah, these are some of the worst to have to abandon because there is no warp up here. You have to climb the whole way. So you better hope you find that Celestial Sass before you have to come back here to double dip.
Absolutely. Otherwise, it's pretty daunting to make that climb without it. Zed going through all these like kind of 1Z, 2Z checks that are available now as a result of time stop. Getting the Bombardier check. Has Zed not gone through this part of the tower yet? Wow,
no.
He really hasn't. Okay.
They had a
he warped left
divergence.
immediately.
Yeah, he went left and also down into some other areas and got some good stuff.
Yeah, he got the checks in the Present Siren's Cave.
Yeah.
Upper Caves of Banishment. So he has abandoned a couple more checks over there because without the water mask, there's nothing you can do about that. Shadow Seal over on Ezra's side, which is quite the melee edition.
Yeah,
Shadow
that
Seal,
one, I think, that one increases your damage the more HP you're missing out of your total. And it is the biggest increase out of all of them that you could equip, all the passives you could equip in the game. It's just dangerous.
But definitely a favorite of many runners. That kind of damage increase is not to be sneezed at. You should not be sneezing at damage.
And some people will even deliberately poison themselves for this.
What is it? The
Rotten Tail?
Rotten Tail, yes.
Yep.
Rotten Tail strats. I love it.
Just shove a rotting tail in, it's for the damage.
Yeah, if the boss is only dealing 1 or 2 damage to you, you gotta find some other way to do it. Oh, there's only a sand bottle up there. I thought it was a necklace. All right, my bad.
Yeah.
So this upper route that Ezra had... Oh, Ezra doesn't have fire either. So Ezra not bothering with it either. So he's going to take this lower route and go towards the Maw Caves, much like Zed did.
Unfortunately, we've seen everything on both of these sides. We will have to take a look and see if Zed does Struggle Juggle, because that would be the one thing that he would be able to do that Ezra could not.
We'll also see if Ezra goes into the Maw Caves like Zed did. Ezra could definitely decide that he wants to go up top for Azure Queen, or go through the couple of rooms up above the area that he's in right now, the upper Lake Serene area, even though he's not going to be able to burn the vines.
Doggo!
Doggo's scary. Big dog.
Got big borks.
There's also a check there that neither of the runners were able to get, but they could come back with the Timespinner Wheel. The Timespinner Wheel is enough to get you on top of that dog, which will give you enough height to get that check.
Looks like Ezra's following the same path.
Yep, down into the Maw Caves. Okay, so both of our runners kind of, the virtual high five, passing each other in the routing, even though they've not been close to each other even once this seed.
Honestly, I think if I get up to the Tower Warp, if I was Zed, I would go to the present. Because there's a lot of checks in the library. Yeah,
I think the one delay for them going to the present is they're probably waiting for fire, both of them. Because that is quite a few checks that they miss. Yes, we are seeing the golden idol from Zed. Ezra decided not to get I think he just bypassed the corridor entirely, or did he dip in and take a look at some of the items?
He got the item with the giant guard, but not the boss.
Okay. So
granted,
we'll see what
Ezra
the
was much lower level at that point, so...
Yeah, understandable. Radiant Plus doing some really good work here.
Yeah. And it's dead.
As is Frozen Spires. Impressive. I haven't seen that used in this fight before, but that was a really, really effective hit. Yeah, Mind Refresh Ultra, what you gonna do? Sometimes it's worth it. A lot of the time it's not. It's been a feature of the tournament so far that boss checks seem to be both abandoned and rightfully abandoned. Nothing behind them, nothing relevant, since you don't need them for getting through the laser gate anymore. Ezra picking up his wheel. We knew that was coming. This is important information for Ezra.
We also, I didn't notice last time because there was the wheel and the warp, but also Sellen's Bangle was in there. Jackpot Room was Jackpot.
Yeah, I don't think either of them have stopped to equip the bangle, though, which is...
Nope, they have not.
Unfortunate. I really like the bangle.
And you could make the argument that while there are other equipment that raise your stats, you're going to raise your own stats by leveling.
Yeah, an early Sellen's Bangle definitely more valuable than, say, a Chaos Stole or a Mother of Pearl or something like that. So yeah, back into following each other's footsteps. Zed now moving into Ilana's towers. Zed potentially has the ability to do the 2 Struggle Juggle checks here that Ezra was forced to skip. So we'll see whether or not that
As well
happens.
as over here.
Yeah, jumping on the projectile. I love this. So Ezra's going to get 3 checks over here that Zed didn't. Or, sorry,
Ooh,
that Zed is going to get 3
Kobo.
checks that Ezra didn't.
Kobo. And a struggle juggle?
Mm-hmm.
That's the
The
baby
mini
struggle
struggle
juggle.
juggle.
Alright, not too bad.
So Kobo unlocks an extra fight in the library once they get there.
We got
a rough
fire
one.
over on Ezra's side, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
soon
Zed
as
never
he
went up
went-
to the top area, did he?
Yeah. I think it was as soon
Oh,
as he
this is
went
the
to the
present.
present.
Okay. Yeah, a
So
quick dip
the
into
moment you go to the
finding
present,
fire,
you
that's
get
great.
fire. It's just ridiculous.
Wouldn't surprise me at all to see Ezra go back to the past now that he has immediately fire and
Mhm.
opening up the fire checks. But nope, not the decision he's making. Instead, he's just going to go underneath this area of Lake Desolation and head towards the library. Also a fine choice. The library is going to have a lot of checks, so
Mhm.
this is not a bad idea.
Ezra will miss out on the Kobo check because he could not do that struggle juggle. And Ezra's going to present. Kobo's telling you to go to present.
Mm-hmm. So we got Zed doing
Nope.
the same thing?
Coming
No,
back.
Zed's still in the past.
Going to Azure Queen?
Yeah, this looks like going to Azure Queen. Oh, no, he has fire also. He's got the pyro ring.
Oh, right. Oh, he double backed.
Yes. So this was a dip into the present in order to find fire, and then Zed making the decision that I thought we were going to see from Ezra, cleaning up, I guess going towards Azure Queen and cleaning those up, but mostly coming up here to burn the vines, which
Yeah.
will open up a couple of checks in the present.
It does
that
seem to
otherwise wouldn't
be
accessible.
Zed's style of being very thorough and pick out those little pieces here and there,
Mhm.
rather than Ezra just saying, no, I'm not going to worry about it. That's a future me problem.
Right. And I think both are completely valid here. Like Zed taking some time in order to make sure he's not missing anything important, and Ezra just bulling towards places with something new in them, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
trying to see what else is in this scene. Is that Boots on Boots'
Is
spot?
this- Have the bosses been randomized at all? Like, we had Azure Queen in her spot too, and the
Wow.
twins.
Yeah, Boots at Boots, Azure Queen at Azure Queen, Golden Idol at Golden Idol.
We did
We
have
have
different
Ravenlord at
Ilana.
Cantorin. Okay, Ravenlord at Cantorin.
We do have randomization, but it's a little weird.
Actually making us question. Eternal Coat, a fine pickup for Ezra. Definitely one of the favorite pieces of equipment. The best possible equipment for the body slot, both in offense and defense, which is rare. Usually you have to kind of split the difference. And we're going to see Ezra going into that library, and we're going to get a bunch of checks here. Very excited.
Ooh, D, we can leave the library too.
The D card in the library, that's convenient. Zed found another gear. So the fire checks, going through here and burning the fire, absolutely relevant.
Sash!
Oh, Sash in the library. All right. Well, backtracking is easy now.
Yes. Fascinating.
Mhm. So Zed, having burnt those vines, is going to have access to all of these checks here in the present.
Yeah,
Um,
having the gear there means that Ezra will probably find it.
Mhm.
Just whether or not the later finding of that will matter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting Ezra at some point to go back and burn the vines, right? Because this is a lot of checks that he'd be missing out on otherwise. Zed doing it ahead of time means he doesn't have
Water
to backtrack
mask?
in order to get this done. Water mask, what a find. So all of the checks that our runners have been bypassing
Gear
are kind
2?
of opening up here. Gear 2 fire locked. Okay, so coming back and burning the vines is going to be really important for Ezra. And now
Yeah.
it's a question of how long he's going to put that off.
Yep.
There's also a laser gate behind the vines.
Yep.
So at some point, Ezra will find a hard stop to his forward momentum. He's not going to be able to get into the military hangar.
Elevator key
card.
Oh, good.
This is a lot of running around. If the elevator key card matters, Ezra's probably here going to go into the elevator area and get as much as he can, right? Just pushing forward. Which means even more backtracking for later. Yep, there he goes into the D key card. He's going to. I don't think he's going to be able to make it to a warp here.
No.
So all of this progression that he goes through in the elevator towers is going to need to be backtracked again later on.
Also,
Oh, he has the B key card. Never mind. He can make it to a warp. Okay,
we
so
have the
this
B
is
key
fine.
card. But we also got the Merchant Crow in the back room in the library.
Yeah, the Merchant Crow, interesting there.
unlocks a boss that is later in the lab.
Okay, so with the B key card, this routing for Ezra makes a lot more sense because he's not losing progress, right? He's always going to have access to that warp over on the right. But yeah, at some point he's got to go back and burn those vines, and he's got time right now, right? We only know where 3 of the pieces are. We need 2 more pieces, and we still need access to the pyramid one way or another.
Yeah, though it does look like Ezra is going to just bank on going through some of the tower without that key card, which may cost him a lot of time.
Right? Yeah, especially because we know the key card is fire locked, so if he wants to come back here after he gets the key card also, that is kind of a lot of backtracking, going through the same space that he's already been in.
Sorry, my internet is having an issue. I was going to say, you can technically get through most of the Varndegroth Tower, but without the key card, but it's going to be a lot slower.
Absolutely. Yeah, most of the left side checks, there's still 1 check left side that you can't get without the key card. And on the right side, there's A, B, and C gated items that you can't get without the elevator key card.
That's another fire source. Is Ezra going to follow that? Come on. Nope.
Is it time? Is it time? Where are we headed? Into the mall.
Checking skeleton.
Oh, okay.
Just chaos.
I support Skelly checks. He very rarely has something you need, but when he does, oh my god, does it hurt to not get it later.
Come on, do fire checks, Ezra.
We believe in you.
Nope. Going to do the elevator section, looks like.
Okay, sure. This is also a territory that Zed's already been through, so we know he's not going to find anything relevant here.
We got the Maw over here on Zed's side.
God, Frozen Spires Plus actually really good at this fight.
Radiant Plus. Maw doesn't even know what's going to hit him.
Yeah, that's a great set of tools. Oh, and great use of the time stop, too, to get through there. I love it. Wow, really easy Ifrit fight. That is excellent. Yep. Nothing super relevant there, but...
Nope. But now it's cleared out.
Definitely a very smooth fight for a difficult boss location.
I do like seeing, as you mentioned, the Frozen Spires used. It doesn't get much use normally because it is a little awkward to use. It sticks along the ground. But for bosses that are just kind of glued there and can't go anywhere, it's real good.
Oh, Ezra has the water mask. So we're actually seeing something new on this side.
Both of them have the water mask because that was also in the library. I know we got a lot of stuff in the library and it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, library is pretty rich. But that means that Ezra is seeing some stuff over here that Zed might have to backtrack for if there's anything relevant there.
Remember to support your local library, kids. You might just get a water mask.
Yep, Ezra found the book with scuba lessons. Nothing good in the underwater checks so far. So Zed might decide to backtrack for this stuff sooner rather than later. As we said earlier, Zed is fairly completionistic. But grabbing this warp here, especially with the elevator key card, this makes a lot of sense for him to just kind of go through the territory that he has access to right now.
Get the easy stuff in the tower and come back for the rest later.
Yeah, I'm not sure which of the racers might, if either of them even, feel like they're behind at this point. There's been a lot of divergence, but they're in mostly the same place, with the big thing being Ezra needing to go back and do the fire checks.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it just yet, because we don't really know what they might be missing. Like, we got the 2 more pieces that we need to open the final door, and somehow getting to that location. Either via the warp would be the preferred choice, or finding 2 more laser gate options and going to the library, or the lab, because we have the B key card already. That's
true. We have found 2 of the 3. So if the 3rd one is accessible, that might indicate that that's how they're going to have to get into the... And there it is.
Speak of. Just one more... Wait, there's all 3.
Yeah, that is all 3 laser gates, and they need 2 more pieces of the time spinner.
Yeah.
In order to break through to the ancient pyramid using the lab.
There's the C key card underwater.
C key card underwater. Is this waterfall or serene?
The music said serene.
Okay. Very cool. So that might be, like, we still know that at this point Ezra is a little bit behind because he has to go to some places that Zed's already been and pick up some items that Zed already has. Whereas the
Oculus
CP
Ring
card,
is that
if it's
doggo
relevant-
jump.
Oh boy. Oh, and who knows when, if ever, Zed's going to come back for that one.
Oh boy.
That's really out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, this might be the advantage that that Ezra needs. Like, I was gonna say that Ezra was a little bit behind, but with the Oculus Ring and the C card, like either
Anybody's
of those
game,
could be
man.
relevant. Yeah, absolutely.
It could also be bait. There's been many times that this dang ring has been super bait.
Absolutely.
At this
The
point, I
Oculus
really
Ring could be
wouldn't.
relevant.
At this point, I really wouldn't go back specifically for one I Spy check. But it would be in the back of my mind thinking, I got this thing. Maybe the other person didn't.
Yeah, potentially.
But there's only so many of them, and you're not looking for just one piece. You're looking for, at least on Ezra's side, 4 pieces plus access. So it's not worth it to hunt down those single pieces yet.
Ezra doing the fire checks now, which will put him potentially even a little bit ahead of Zed, depending on whether or not the C card and the Oculus Ring are relevant. Zed checking out the present Siren Caves, the upper sealed caves, and nothing particularly good there, unfortunately for him.
Nothing great.
But he does have those 2 laser gate pieces, so that could send him in a direction here. Nope, looks like he's going to the past to do a little bit more cleanup. No Oculus Ring yet for Zed, but
Yeah, he has not done Ilana's tower yet.
Oh, he hasn't done Ilana's tower at all?
Yeah, the upper part.
Oh, he got warp shards and bailed.
Yes, because he didn't have infinite vertical at that point. He did have time stop, but didn't want to do struggle juggles.
Understandable.
So,
wow, okay, that's very cool. I don't see that kind of routing very often.
Yeah,
love
he did
this move from
the
Zed.
courtyard of the towers and then bailed. Since you go in there to maybe get warp shards, you might as well do that one other part if you can get to everything over there.
Yeah, absolutely, understandable. That's pretty cool. Like warping out of that far side of the courtyard checks, I love it. So we're going to see the top. We're going to see Ilana's attic, Mom's attic here, and maybe that'll have something relevant. Ezra going through some of the breakable checks in the Serene area. So we're seeing a little bit of new stuff from Ezra as well. Nothing relevant in the, I'm not sure what to call it, the double jump room?
Gas mask.
Gas mask, fascinating. So that puts the 2 champion chests in logic.
Yeah.
When you defeat whoever's at the mall location, that creates 2 chests in Lake Desolation that can be opened up.
Yeah, and that was behind I Spy. So
Yep, that was an Oculus Ring check. So that
Is
the
it-
chain is ever longer.
is it bait? Is it not bait?
Toxin trap in Mom's attic. Ezra also picking up 2 new checks in the castle moat. We didn't see this because nobody had the water mask on their first pass.
All right, nothing there.
Nothing good. All right, well, Zed's gotten everything new out of the towers. Of course, Zed has a couple of checks that he's not picked up yet, but we all know that it's not going to be anything relevant.
And here's
So
the other
where
struggle
is-
juggle. All right, we saw that.
Yeah, we did see that. Well, no, did we?
We did on Ezra's side. Ezra, I think.
I don't think Ezra had time stop when he went through here.
No,
But,
you're right.
it's
You're right.
nothing
You're right.
relevant.
You're right.
Not a big deal.
I just remember seeing health up somewhere, and my brain short-circuited. I'm sorry.
Oh, sure, yeah. So far, Oculus Ring not paying out at all, right?
Ooh, Geyer. I'm gonna switch over to that
early
music.
Geyer. Yeah, Zed does have the wheel, so this is potentially in logic for a Timespinner piece.
Switched over to this music because it's good.
Ezra going for all of the Ilana's Towers checks that he missed previously, now that he has the Sash and the Oculus Ring. So that's cool. He's gonna find out what we have already found out, which is that there's nothing good here. Zed with the Radiant Orb doing some good work in the Geyer. Not quite an ideal outcome, I think, for Zed. Having like a big spell for clearing, like a Jin Inferno or something that'll get you just like a full screen clear would be nice to have here. But Radiant Orb
Plus,
doing great
though,
work.
is just good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's great for those dang nether shades.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Nether Shade's definitely a problem. Nope.
And nothing in there. All right.
Nothing in there. Consumables. Consumables in the Nether Orb. So, warping out and continuing past the laser gate. So this is going to be all new territory. We're going to find some interesting things over here. So, unless there's some weird chain with Oculus and the C card that involves our spindle and remaining gear somewhere back in one of the onesie-twosie checks in the past, Zed is probably closer to the eventual end of the game right now.
Ezra really needs Oculus to pay off.
Yeah, and Ezra's still going back to check those checks, right? Doing the onesie-twosies. But that's also because he doesn't have the laser gates yet, right?
Nope.
We know that one of the laser gates is in the Siren Cave, or the present Siren Cave, the upper sealed cave, which he doesn't have access to because he doesn't have the key card yet, which he's going to find here. And the other laser gate is also here in this area in the fire.
But there is quite a few breakable walls here.
That's true. So these are checks that Zed missed, and this is if this pays off, that's going to be amazing for Ezra. Too bad. You always love to see that turnaround.
Yeah. The turnaround. Oh, get the bee trap! I don't remember where the second gear was. Do you?
Here. He's going to find it here.
Okay. They
Not
just
about
got
here,
so
but
many...
fire checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got so many things all at once. It was a little hard to keep it tracked.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's the Time Worn. Yeah, so that's not the one that we want.
Yes, Time Worn Warp Beacon for Zed.
Yeah, not Mysterious. Okay.
Right, so that's not going to cover anything new.
Darn.
So Ezra now missing only one laser gate to have parity with Zed. And that laser gate, we both know, is in the present Siren Caves, in the upper seal caves. I really need to figure out a better way of differentiating those.
The gross Siren Caves versus the clean ones.
Yeah. The gross Siren Caves. I like that.
Ezra does have the elevator keyguard now cleaning out Varndegross Tower, so he might go get that soon.
That's true. There is, 1, 2, 3 checks that Zed didn't get while on the way through? Wait. Oh, Zed still doesn't have C, so there's 2 checks that Zed didn't get for sure. I don't know how much time Zed spent in the towers at all, though. I guess he got,
yeah, he went through the whole right side and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I remember him doing the Metal Gear section and chased by Roombas.
Yeah, just a lot of back and forth in this race so far. Okay, so Gear 3 in the lab.
So you have
Ezra definitely going to need to get that. Yep, there it is, that extra laser gate. Wait, so what was in the Siren's Cave? Am I misremembering?
Yeah, there's another 2 checks in the lab that Zed had to miss because of no ring, but hoping the spindle shows up somewhere.
Right? So, as far as Zed's concerned, Oculus Ring is, behind a breakable wall, right? And not relevant to the game, and he's got to just go through it.
Temporal Gyre. So
the mysterious warp beacon available for Zed means that the last time spinner piece, the spindle, could be in the pyramid.
It could be. I kind of hope it's that last chest right before the door.
We'll see where Zed's headed here. This is the Genza fight for Zed?
Yes.
Cool. So after the Genza fight, Zed has the option to go up to Emperor's Towers. He could also check the pyramid now that he has the warp. I think he was probably banking on finding both of the pieces on the way and never finding the warp, and just going through the lab like normal. But this might change how that routing works.
Nope. All right. Honestly, since you have the warp, you don't even want to bother with those fights there, because it's just a lot of wasted time. So we're probably going to do the courtyard in the Emperor's Tower. I'm not sure if Zed will go all the way up to the top of the Emperor Tower.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I feel like if Zed doesn't immediately bail to go to the pyramid, that is also kind of a non-standard play, right? After qualifiers last year, everybody's got the fear.
One fear. Ezra a little behind, but I don't feel like that much behind.
No, really not that far behind. He's going to pick up his third gear here. He's going to pick up his warp beacon, and he'll be
check
maybe
those hidden walls and maybe find the spindle.
That's right. That's right. Ezra does have access to a few checks that Zed didn't. So if Oculus Ring ends up mattering, Ezra's ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not that far behind Zed right now. Nothing. Oh.
Nothing yet.
Mm-mm.
You know, if Ravenlord at Cantarin has the spindle, that would just be the cherry on top of this whole situation.
Oh my god.
They wouldn't have trouble with it because they're so high level now, but man,
it's just when do you go back for it?
It'd just be an insult, man.
The seed really indicating to the runners what it plans for them.
Yeah.
So Ezra, not going to be seeing anything new here, but Ezra's going to be getting his third gear very shortly, as well as his mysterious warp beacon. Like none of this stuff is stuff that he's going to miss. Everything is sort of on the critical path here, nothing out of the way.
All right.
Ezra not scouting Experiment 13, instead just bulling forward.
Yeah, it seems to be that most people don't peep that anymore.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a choice.
It's a choice. I think if you have enough damage that it's actually faster just to kill it.
Did Zed check out Ravenlord? Oh, he
Yes.
did. Okay.
Yes, because we had Nightmare
Alright.
there. We got
So this is,
key card
nothing
A
new.
in way up there.
Oh boy. That might be
Way
relevant.
up there.
So a lot of choices for Zed now. Right? He's
Where
got the pyramid,
is
he's got
the
Zarion, he's got all of the A
Come on,
checks.
go to the pyramid. Come on. Nah.
I'm a big believer in pyramid.
You have to
phase.
go through it anyway because you got the bad warp. You might as well. You have water mask. You could clear it.
Zed
No, you
going to
don't
check out the
have-
bottom of Desolation instead, which a reasonable choice. There are
You have
pieces there.
the Oculus ring. Oh my god. What if
Yeah, he still
it's
doesn't have Oculus.
what if it's regret?
Because Oculus was underneath one of the water mask checks that Zed hasn't gone back yet.
Yes. What if it's in regret chest?
Ooh, that's gonna
Which
be
means that it was locked behind Oculus.
Uh-huh. God, that'd be amazing. What a
I would be
seed.
so
What
happy.
a chain of progression.
I would have been so happy. You had to go to the doggo spot to get the eye ring.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be wet regret because we do have the water mask.
It could be. So this is stuff that's not yet new, but if he goes for Zarian, that's going to be a lot of new stuff.
He does
And
have
that-
the A key card.
He does have the card, yeah.
All right, here we go.
So this is going to be new checks. Any one of these checks could be the spindle and could be the game. Ezra following in Zed's footsteps. There will be one more check here that Ezra's going to see again because Zed doesn't have the Oculus ring. Like we keep coming back to this point because this is the one big difference in their routing. Ezra's like maybe a couple of minutes behind following in Zed's footsteps, but each time Ezra's getting one more check or two more checks that Zed didn't.
Yeah.
And any one of these could be the spindle.
Zed finally going to the pyramid because if you only have one thing you need to find, you should just go through the pyramid.
Yeah, it feels really important. And it just like, what a terrible place to miss out on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just being like, oh, well, I can't go to the pyramid because I don't have my fifth piece. And that being your mindset is just like, oh, God, I should have known.
The only hope Zed has is that it's not in regret.
Yeah, if it's in regret, he's definitely going to regret not going back for the Oculus ring.
Really, dog bark spot in the drained lake. It's not one that's on the top of your mind.
No, it's not. It's such a subtle thing because it seems so accessible. And actually getting there with double jump exactly means you can't do it.
Okay, it's flooded. It is wet regret. Oh gosh. Will my dream come
Fun
true?
for everybody. All right, well, Zed still going to go through here, grab the warp, and look at the last check location in the pyramid. And then what? Like, at that point, it's back to the onesie-twosie checks, right? Is he going to go for Waterfall? Is he going to go for the dog?
He's got Zarian and Spider Hells and stuff, so... Zarian would probably be next, because it's got more checks.
That seems reasonable. Zarian's pretty dense. Buckle hat. Nope. It's not over yet.
Zed got real mad there. Come on, I just need one thing. Yep, Zarian.
Yep, there he is.
I agree.
Zarian, understandable. Zarian, a place that some runners go to the moment they have access to it, and some runners kind of put it off because it's a bit of a harder location. The enemies are a little bit more annoying.
I feel like if I was Zed, even if I found the Oculus Ring at this point, I would try not to go back for those one-offs because someone might have gotten it earlier. So I just have to hope that it isn't there.
Yeah, I especially like Zed going back to Dog Bark spot specifically and finding the Oculus Ring there. He's gotta think that Ezra's had it for, you know, a half hour at this point.
If he has it, it's over. So I might as well check the other spots.
There's the A card for Ezra, so Ezra could again be hot on Zed's heels, or Ezra could make the choice to go for, you know, some of these random one-offs in the past or in the present, all the individual spots that you'd have to backtrack to go get. We'll see what decision he makes. Immediately to Zarian. All right, all right, Ezra. But again, one more check in the Zarian caves that Ezra can get.
Yeah,
that Zed can't.
This is such a fascinating race.
I got my heart is in my throat the whole time because it's like Ezra feels like he's behind, but also he has the ability to get stuff that Zed can't. And if the spindle's there, that's it. That's Ezra's game, right? It's just wherever's the spindle.
Wow, this is fascinating.
I know, I love it. Ezra taking the face tanking strategy, just running directly into mushroom towers.
Please don't die. Okay. Old strategy.
Let's see if it works out for him. All right, here it is.
Is this one...
Ezra, this, right? Is the race over? Right? Every new chest is going to be, is the race over? And Ezra is going to have very few new chests.
I got excited for half a second,
Zed.
but I remembered they had Sash.
Yep. So that was Ezra's shot for the Zarian Caves. If it's in the Zarian Caves at this point, it's Zed's race to win. And in the Zarian Caves, I guess we'd be behind Zarian specifically.
Oh, hi, Cantoran.
Cantoran and Zarian. Radiant not going to be super good for this fight.
No. What do we got? Umbra.
One of the few bosses that's strong against light damage.
Yeah, Umbra is good. Shadow Seal, and... yeah, that's okay.
I believe Cantoran and Ilana share very similar weaknesses and strengths, with Cantoran also having strong to light and weak to dark.
Weak to dark. Usually humans are weak to dark, and Cantoran is weak to aura. Like Empire
weak to aura. Ilana and aura user obviously not weak to aura.
No, she's still she's a plasma user.
I keep getting aura and plasma confused. All right.
Yes, she is zappy, so she is weak to that.
So it's the other way. If you're using plasma, you're weak to aura, and the other way around.
Yes. You could also think of it like the bleakness. If you remember, people who have plasma suffer from the bleakness, which is what aura on Makiam is. It's sort of a parallel there.
I can't believe I am casting a randomizer and you're making me think about lore.
Listen! My best friend made the game!
So that's the C key card finally for Zed. Might go and check out what's behind those C key card gates. I don't think Ezra...
Ooh,
I don't think Ezra has.
C key cards? I don't...
Yeah, right? Ezra went through the pyramid without the elevator key card.
The tower without the elevator key card.
So I don't think he's been back
He went
since.
back. No, I think he went back.
Did he? Okay.
I think he did.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh. Oh,
It's
come
not on Cantoran.
Where is it?
And there's not that many checks left. I mean, there are still quite a lot of checks left, but... he's going to get the Oculus Ring now.
We did get a yeet trap behind Zarian, which is always fun.
I love those. I love the throw traps. They're so cool.
It could be the Maw?
It could be in the captain's chests, yeah. I don't think anybody's gone back to get them all.
Because also the Maw was behind Gas Mask, which was behind Eye Ring. Oh, Zed.
Oh, yeah, there's no gas mask for Zed yet. He hasn't found it, because, as you said, it was, what, in the basement loop?
It was somewhere behind a breakable wall.
It might have been, I feel like it was, like, basement loop or the thing above that ledge.
Yeah.
Like that.
I don't know. It was somewhere in an eye place. There,
Oh,
right here.
There it is, immediately, right there next to the Oculus ring. Nice, nice.
There you go.
Okay.
So, while we are fighting them all right now, this is not the Moss spot, so it's not going to open up that spot.
So now Zed has this.
Zed is going.
Gas mask immediately into go fight the Maw. This could be it. Checking the captain's chest is new territory.
Yep. If it's
but
here, that's so unfortunate for Ezra.
We still haven't seen Waterfall, I don't think. Yeah, Ezra has not gone back to the elevator towers yet. So following the C key card could be it. With all the key cards, there's the A check here. We've seen the B check, but we haven't seen what's behind Varndegree.
We haven't seen the Spider Hell or Varndegroth.
And we haven't seen the C key card check on the left side either. So that could be it. Zed. Oh, Zed with the water mask now coming back here. So there's the water checks in the Siren's Caves in the past. Past Sirens. Upper Banishment. Upper Banishment is the actual place that it's called. And I always want to call this place the Siren's Cave instead.
Well, there's sirens here.
But not in the present. You're calling it present Siren's Cave is really confusing for everybody involved, including me.
Ezra almost doubled back, thinking that he didn't have access, but you actually have to tap the little passport scanner in front of the door for the key
I
card
saw you
to
just
work.
jumped right over it.
You gotta scan your little card. R.A.P. Ifrit. Oh, come on.
Blade Orb. Well, a little late for Blade Orb Plus, but
I'm just happy that Radiant Plus is getting some love.
Oh yeah, everybody loves her. I don't think it's at all controversial to say that Radiant is one of the more popular orbs.
It's funny that I of course see a lot of people talking about this game, and more often than not, someone will talk about some orb being the best orb in the game, and none of the others compare, and it's always a different orb.
Yep. Everybody just completely different opinions. So this is the elevator keycard locked room. And I don't think we've seen these yet, but nothing there. And there is... Oh, he worked out. Because there's still the C card check that I don't think he checked yet.
He tried to earlier and didn't have it.
So he's got the room on his map.
Yeah, but it
hasn't
didn't actually
gone into it. Oh, Ezra could be checking Regret here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please let it be Wet Regret. Oh, God.
Zed going for the captain's chest now that he's killed the Moss Spot location.
Yes, that could be the other thing. We got two different Hail Marys here.
Right? Everybody's like, okay, well, this check that takes far too long for the amount of value I'm getting out of it is definitely going to be the one that wins it for me. Zed not heading to the upper part?
Probably going for the...
the breakable walls first.
Yep.
Makes sense. Yeah, all the breakable walls here, right? There's this one, there's the one upstairs, and then there's the captain's chests.
Wet Regret. Come on!
All right, Ezra, everybody's rooting for you.
Please let me Wet Regret. It's gonna be so bad.
But yeah, like both of our runners now on par for progression. So it's just a matter of who
he's
finds that spindle first.
Save so you can save scum out of here if it is truly filled with Wet Regret. Because look at this float down here. Oh, this is so painful.
Zed going to the towers. So Zed's now going to see all of the stuff that Ezra just saw.
But he might get that
C lock
on the left.
So there's still the potential there, right? There's the possibility. There's always that chance. But until he heads over there, we've seen the A room, we've seen Varndegroth, so this isn't going to be anything interesting.
Come on.
So Ezra, what have you got here?
Come on, Ezra.
Is this it? Nope.
One day, my prince will come.
Are you kidding me? There have been so many last pieces at Regret.
My
race was last piece.
Why are you not saving scumming, Ezra? Ezra! Save scum!
Oh yeah, he could just leave. Well.
Oh well.
That's alright. He's doing what he's doing. Frozen Spires! Man, Zed
Mhm.
putting on a workshop, honestly. I love this use of the spell because I never use it. So I'm really
Mhm.
excited to see where it's good, and maybe I'll be able to bring that under
Yeah.
my own play later.
Ma is good on, Azure Queen, and as you saw, Ifrit.
Yeah, Azure Queen's actually weak to ice also.
Yep. The Golden Idol's not necessarily weak to it, but still good. Okay, it's not
It's
that
cap.
one.
Nope. So we still haven't seen it. We don't know. It's some random check out in the world. Is it waterfall? Is it the basement loot breakable wall? Is it
Where could it be?
the breakable wall here in the towers? Hey!
No. Oh gosh.
Well,
Ezra,
this
you were
is
right
now.
there.
Yeah, it was right there the whole time, right? And Ezra just
Going
didn't
for
go to the left
waterfall.
side.
Yep.
Ezra just didn't bother.
Yeah.
Oh no, Ezra did. He went to the left side and we got the keycard gated ones, and not the other two not the Oculus
And
Ring one.
didn't get
and not the keycard one.
the wall in there. Yep.
Yeah, he'll never come back for this. He will never come back for these
no.
locations.
Nope.
Well, this is definitely
Worst.
Zed's race to win or lose at this point. And we've seen Zed's combat so far.
It's
right?
good
Like,
on
this is-
Varndegroth, by the way.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, Zed's gonna clean this up. And Ezra is suffering. And I can't even say that anything that Ezra's done was wrong here, right?
No,
Like,
no, this
skipping
was-
a couple of checks here and there, whatever, and is going
Yeah.
back for all these other checks. Like, it could have been Waterfall, right? It could have been Waterfall, and this could have been Ezra's game.
Yeah.
You know? It could
It-
have been
it
in
could
one
have
of the
been Wet
other
Regret.
Oculus rooms. Yeah, it could have been Wet Regret, and this would have been Ezra's race. Like, so close.
If I would have had my way, it would have been in Wet Regret.
Of course.
Just
of
saying.
course. Ezra going for the Maw checks now, because of course. Like, what else do you do here? And it's just, you know,
And
he
there we
walked by
go.
the room where it was, and just didn't think about the last few checks in the tower, and that's the race. So Ezra is our winner with a race time of 50 minutes and 32 seconds.
Not bad. For the
And,
roundabout, you had to get the eye ring from the doggo ledge and then go back to Varnderoth Towers and get that really annoying hidden wall in the vents.
Yeah, it's just a really long chain of progression items that you needed in order to get to where to go, and then also picking up the other bait progression items on the way. It's so rough.
Ooh boy,
I
man.
think we have Zed in our server.
We do, and they'll be joined. Yep, right there. Hello, Zed.
Hello.
How did you feel when you went back to Doggo Ledge and realized that the eye ring was there?
I got that, and I thought to myself, not family-friendly words.
Oh no.
Was not happy to find that there.
Yeah, Ezra
say the
found that a
least.
long time ago, so this race is really fun to watch because you both were going through the same areas, but Ezra was just a little behind, but getting those breakable walls. It was a really interesting back and forth.
Yeah, I
there.
want to say there was about 15 minutes where Ezra was like 2 minutes behind you, but also had that one extra check that you wouldn't, and the entire time it was just a spindle hunt. So at any moment, it could have been the race either way.
Oh man, yeah, because I just didn't have time stop or the ability to get up there
Mhm.
because I
Yeah, I
routed
think Ezra went there
first.
after getting the wheel later on, or over in...
Mhm.
Where was the wheel? Oh, he went back after getting the wheel.
After getting Sash,
Yeah.
I believe.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, it was fascinating. I saw the little bit of a rage dance you did when it wasn't that chest right before Sandman. Because that would have been good.
That was me deciding whether or not I wanted to go spend the approximately 37 years to go sink all the way down the shaft to get the 2 checks.
Wet regret.
Wet regret, and
It was full of
as
regret.
you can tell.
Yeah, in this seed, it was just regret. Ezra did check those.
Well, at least I saved myself that time.
Hmm. Yeah, this was a really fun one to watch. You both had a huge divergence at the start, and
Oh, here we go. Ezra's checking
got
the
a-
map now.
rapid fire series of item after item after item right at the start. and the opportunities were endless for both of you, and you kind of went different ways.
Yeah. This is one of the first seeds I've seen where you've had both dry Lake Serene and also dry like Castle Loop.
Mm-hmm.
So usually what I end up doing for routing wise is I will go the opposite direction of whichever one is dry, and then I'll warp back just in case I, happen to find a warp shard. We saw that a lot in last year's tournament where it was get your Twin Pyramid Key warp active, so if you have warp shards, you can actually use them. So I inspired a little bit by that. But yeah. And obviously I ended up deciding on Lake Serene, which I think worked out well because I did pick up that deal really early. And that made me pretty happy.
Yeah, they give you a bit of an advantage going through some of the earlier places, but also a potential disadvantage because of the late Oculus ring.
Yeah, the late Oculus was really scaring me. I was like, I don't know if Ezra's had this for a long time, and it sounds like he did.
He did, in fact. I think Ezra's big delaying point was it took him a while to go back and burn the vines. So you had a little bit of forward momentum from there. You were kind of a couple of minutes ahead for most of the seed, with Ezra following behind you.
Looks like he might have seen where to go.
Yeah, I really hate going through that area if I can't burn the vines. I was actually gonna loop through Lower Lake Desolation.
I think it was you that
literally I warped to the point we got, and it was literally Pyro Ring, and I was like, oh, I'll just go turn around and do that. It's a little bit more dense.
Yep.
Yeah, you were the one that about faced the moment you got that ring. Nope, going back through.
Well, yeah, I hadn't gotten any of the stuff up there yet, so it was kind of a no-brainer for me. Oh, I can go get everything.
And Ezra about to find his spindle.
There it is.
I also accidentally forgot to check one of the Lake Desolation checks after I got the Oculus ring. I went and got the 2 captain's uniform items from Ma, and just didn't open the breakable wall on my way through.
Yeah, this was definitely a seed for missed checks, right? Between the timing for Oculus ring and the timing for Water Mask and everything else, like there were a lot of checks missed.
Yeah, the seed was asking for you to accidentally forget something and leave it for an hour later.
We weren't certain how long it would take you to go back to Doggo, because who thinks to check that spot?
Me, fortunately enough.
Fortunately, yes, fortunately. You remembered. But it's such an obscure spot. And then the breakable wall in the vents in Varndegrot's tower is even more obscure.
Sure is.
Yeah, fortunately, the only reason I routed back through there was because I did have C card, so it was like my next most dense area.
Yeah, with the C card, I think that makes a lot of sense. You had the A card, and then Varndegroth, and then the C card room, and then the breakable wall, which I had completely forgotten about the breakable wall that both of you had missed on the way out. So, an amazing place to find that spindle for sure.
Yeah, if I didn't find it there, I was kind of like, I'm gonna be burning through another stack and then some of warp shards. I have so many random one-off checks.
And that is time for Ezra as well, with an official racetime.gg time of 57 minutes and 22 seconds.
We could get exclamation points in chat for both of our runners. That would say good show from everyone. Wow. Hey, Ezra.
Hello.
How about that Oculus ring?
I was very happy to find Oculus at that point in time. Not gonna lie.
You found it a lot earlier than Zed. So you had the Oculus ring following in Zed's footsteps and checking all the breakable walls that Zed couldn't.
Yeah. I was thinking when I got that Oculus ring that it was just gonna be very strong, that it was right there for me.
You should watch the VOD. It's a fascinating race when you don't know where you're going, because you were just a little bit behind physically Zed, but you had the ring. So everywhere that Zed went, there was also that extra chance that even though you were behind, there was something there.
Yeah. for sure. I was basically hoping that I would just find what I needed by luck, but didn't quite get lucky enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely a spindle hunt at the end. So it could have gone either direction, and
Yeah.
the way it played out was Zed found that room a couple of minutes before you did.
Yeah, I think I would have been pretty good if when I was going and doing that barn to cross left tower, I think I just forgot to grab that previously.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep,
that would have
just
been huge.
slipped both of your minds there. It's at such an obscure spot.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have Oculus at the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I went by it going, well, I hope that's not important. And obviously
That's
it
a
was.
future
fortunately,
me
I had-
problem.
But fortunately, I had enough of a reason to come back and check it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we've talked to Zed a bit about your early routing choices. Ezra, you did this thing where you kind of went over to the castle and then bailed from the castle to go check Serene, and then came back to the castle for basement loot.
So, yeah, my initial theory going into this is that Zed is going to be playing stronger than me. So, my basic theory was that I was going to take a path that wouldn't be the most optimal and just immediately go towards an area before Zed does, basically, hoping that I get pretty lucky so that since I did go to that area before Zed goes to that area, I can just win from that. So I was doing, slightly suboptimal choices to sort of go off route so that it could be more luck-based and less skill-based. That was my hope.
Sure, and it ended up being extremely luck-based.
Yes, it sure
Yep.
did.
I was
And I
so.
think that's actually like a really valid way to play these flags, because I've come to find out that there is 100% an optimal route in each seed, but it's so random that if you happen to find it, you're just gonna win over your opponent by 20 minutes. But that's not what we've really seen out of these. So honestly, making the weird plays in search of that random optimal route is entirely valid.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was so hoping that Wet Regret was going to have something, because that would have been amazing. But it wasn't. My dream will be fulfilled later.
We already
Yeah.
had one tournament seed with an item at regret. I think it was Spindle at full regret.
Yeah, but I want to continue having my dream fulfilled.
Greedy llama.
So long as your dream is fulfilled while I am not racing, I'll be happy.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to orphan those 2 checks every day of the week.
Well, I think I've said everything that I want to. Llama, any more questions for our runners?
No, we do have another race coming up. It looks like we did not get a channel on this short of notice, which is fine. We were going to probably try and get a homebrew restream from Zed in the Timespinner Discord.
I'll probably be setting that up right after this.
Yeah, because it's starting in like 20 minutes. I think you still have permissions, but if anything goes wrong, just DM me, and I'll set up the permissions in the channel for you. But I was also going to say to Speedgaming 2, thank you so much for hosting us. We are always happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you to Speedgaming. Runners, any final words? Zed?
GG's Ezra. It sounds like it was a really fun race to watch. I have to go back and watch that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And Ezra?
All right, yes. Sorry,
Yeah,
Ezra,
good
you may go
game.
first.
I definitely made quite a bunch of mistakes, but I'm happy that I had a really good shot there.
And congratulations, Zed. You get to fight Jim next.
That's true. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good match.
We'll have plenty of time to talk over it over comms.
It's true.
Yep.
And Ezra, you are going into the second chance bracket. You are going to be facing the winner of Silent Brow versus Rowan Maru, which should be an interesting match to watch as well. I think those two are fairly close in terms of their skill expectations, so that should be a good match.
Yeah. GG's.
GG's, everyone.
GG's, everyone. So yeah, thanks again to Speedgaming. There's a bunch more matches coming up. We've got a whole tournament coming up. Immediately in the near future, Zed and I are going to be commentating over what is it? It's Winfei Maiden versus Nochibato.
Yep.
So that's coming up in about 20 minutes. I'm not sure if there will be a Speed Gaming channel for it. If not, then it'll just be a restream in the Timespinner Discord.
Yes. But tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we will be having the creator of Timespinner versus Lunar Ray Games versus Wef Jebster, a randomizer developer. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, both of them super skilled.
Yeah.
You don't always see the people who created games being as good at their games as other people, and Bodhi definitely delivers. He's quite the runner, very accomplished.
But without further ado, I think we'll say our goodbyes for now.
Yep. Follow our two runners on Twitch. I believe the links are posted in the chat, and drop a follow for Speed Gaming. You know, share the love.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.